Like to welcome everyone back for some overtime action here at the Memorial. All tied up at 5, game number 3, series tied 1-1. Someone's going home as a hero tonight. This should be a pretty fun period of action in store. Not sure how long it's going to last. We're going to go till we have a winner. Canucks are going to start this overtime period. Braden Elkins out there. Schmerman and Norman on the wings. Chase Henriksen, the man who tied this game. And Evan Weaver playing defense. And Helgeson fires that into the netting right away. Offensive zone draw coming up for the Rangers. Marinkovic trying to win it back. Ends up on Evan Weaver's stick. He'll start things out for the Canucks. Trying to get around Marinkovic. Van Terve comes out, jumps on that one. And now the Canucks will get an offensive zone draw. I'm pretty sure we got the full attention of the NPHL here now as the Comets and Athletics game's over. Comets took that one by a score of 5-3, and they're up 3-0 in the series now. That one skips over Lefley's stick, and that's an icing coming up against the Rangers. Brandon Rowley stepping into the face-off dot here. Marinkovic able to win that over him, and Rangers will try and get out of their zone. Helgeson kept in. That one sent down low for Desilets, intercepted by Miller. Up the ice, Helgeson poked away from him at the blue line, so the Rangers got to dump this one in. Brennan reverses there to Swales. Shipton, he'll play that hard off the glass and out. Swales back behind his net, flushed out by St. Pierre. Cross ice for Rowley. Shipton trying to chip that past Boomgarden. He's able to send that into the Canucks end. McLean has a man out front, and Radford got it to him. That's sent just wide though. Radford back to the point. Now that's rung around. St. Pierre's going to get to it first. Boomgarden sends it around again. Ross pinching down. McLean takes a hit from Swales. Shipton able to send that to the other side as he takes a hit from St. Pierre. Knocks in the middle of a change. Swales will control, watch there by Radford. Leaves it for Massingham. Massingham will dump it in. Egan takes a hit. Puck goes loose. Clearing attempt there sent up for Marinkovic. Weaver was able to get in front of that and send it down low again. Now Boomgarden. Up for Radford. Hansen tried to hit him. Massingham back for Egan. Henriksen looking for a tip. Rebound. That one sent just over the net by Evan Weaver. Henriksen trying to keep this one alive and not let the Rangers go back the other way. He did. Sent that down low. Alkins gets his stick on that one and up into the netting, out of play. Another draw coming up inside the Spirit River zone. Elkins out here for this draw against Colin Leffley. Leffley able to win that back. Norman battling McNeil for it behind the net. Boomgarden there as well, but so is Elkins. Puck bounces up and glove down by Colin Leffley. That's sent down the ice. Icing again against the Rangers. Feels tense in this building right now. Got a pretty good crowd here in Dawson. Few people went home there in the intermission, just with the young kids and whatnot, I understand that. But it feels tense right now. Brennan from the point, tipped on and saved by Van Derve. $16:59 left here in this first overtime. Rally wins it back. Weaver tried to get a shot through. That was wide. Now it's on the side of the net. Van Derve lost control of it. Desjardins trying to protect the puck there from Smiley. Shipton will bring it out. He'll reverse it there for Desjardins. Watch there by Smiley. Trying to get away from him. Chip that down low. That was broken up though by Marinkovic stepping in front of him. Rangers might ice this puck again. And indeed they did. Is the overtime hero on the ice right now? We'll find out here as this next face-off's getting ready to be dropped. Rangers able to win that. Pops out of play. Weaver will play it back for Henriksen. He was the hero that tied this game for the Canucks. Canucks almost got their signals crossed. Elkins ends up with it. Over for Norman. He'll float that one in. Van Derve will just eat that one up and hold it for a whistle. Almost 4 minutes gone in this overtime period. Massingham will take this draw against Marco St. Pierre. Both pretty good guys in the draw. Massingham able to win that. Swales holding the line, sends that down low, tipped on in front by Massingham, and that's saved by Van Derve. Sent back down low. Hansen battling for that. St. Pierre. Long stretch pass for Radford. He's going to get to it first in the corner. Brennan will try and pin him. It's loose in the skates of Radford. Leaves it there for McLean. Now Radford. Ross was pinching down. Now St. Pierre, top circle. Fought off by Round with that blocker. Brennan will get it out of the zone, but that'll be an icing. Unless Hansen can beat this. And that was, sure looked like Hansen had beat that there. That was close. Now the Canucks with a little bit of a tired lineup out there, and the Rangers with an offensive zone draw. They're going to put Colin Leffley out, Zach Schlochter, and Lappenbush. Dawson's going to take a timeout here. Rest up their tired skaters. So we'll take a second here to thank all of our wonderful sponsors. Lawrence Meatpacking, RT Rentals, Weaver Auctions, ARC Resources, The Brick, Brown Social House, Dawson Creek Auto Dealers Association, Krantz Ventures, LMV Electrical and LMV Energy, Dr. Travis Pilipow, Sunrise Physiotherapy and Wellness, Windsor Plywood, Bar Down Sales, Baytree General Store, Brass Scissors Hair Design, Brogan Fire and Safety, CLC Concrete, Does Joe Construction, Hagee Construction, and Hub International. We're all ready here for this face-off inside the Canucks end. Canucks were able to win that. They'll look to move that out. Egan had that skip over his stick, but he's going to get off the bench for a change. Swales stepped up, and now Shipton to win it. Saved by Van Terve, able to hold that one under the arm. The Canucks were able to go back 3-on-1 there. Offensive zone draw coming up now for the Canucks. Face-off one by the Canucks. Henriksen at the point. They'll play that down low. It's going to go to the far corner. Shipton ends up with it. Shipton trying to get around Marinkovic. Shot on, looking for a tip as it's bouncing. And ends up wide of the net. Mike Leffley will just scoop that up, send it down the ice into the Canucks end. Henriksen watched there by Helgeson. He'll leave it for Weaver. Up the middle for Rowley. Tried to get that up for Shipton. Bounces back to Rowley though, and now the Canucks captain will start out. Rowley on the left wing, glove down by Van Terve, and he'll hold that for a whistle. St. Pierre versus Elkins for this draw. St. Pierre able to win another defensive zone draw. Been pretty good on the draw this series so far. Schmerman takes a hit. Puck bounces back to Swales though. St. Pierre got in the way of that one. He gives chase. Brennan able to get that off before he gets there. Norman up the right side as Elkins tried to feed that into the slot for him, but that was broken up. Swales. Sam Brennan had his stick ripped out of his hand, and Radford took it to the bench there. And on the forecheck, Rangers able to get that one out. St. Pierre in front of the benches. They'll just play this deep into the Canucks end. Round will bring that one around. Boomgarden tried to play that deep again. Held the line a second time, and now Weaver, Evan Weaver controlling for the Canucks. Over for Henriksen. Schmerman got a piece of that to avoid the icing. And the linesman made a bit of a mistake there, so they're going to drop the puck at center ice. Schmerman did get a piece of that. Shouldn't have been icing, but they'll rectify it right away and drop it at center ice. It's all right. It's a fast game. Make mistakes out there. Just do the right thing like that. That makes sense. Both teams would want that. Smiley. Up for Schlachter. Now Lappenbush. He'll chip that in. Not nearly as deep as he wanted, though. Henriksen will just flip that back into the Rangers' end. James Miller misses Leffley, and that should be icing against the Rangers. Already over 7 minutes gone in this first overtime. Been a few chances, but nothing super high danger. Canucks able to win that face-off. They'll play that down low. Shipton watched there by Miller. Canucks pinch down and keep it alive. Desjardins back door, and that's fired across the crease and out the other side by Rowley. Canucks set up a good opportunity there, just couldn't capitalize. Rowley into the slot. Desjardins had that skip over his stick, and now the Rangers are going to be able to get out. Not icing. Canucks think definitely thought that was going to be icing. Now they'll turn it over. Able to recover though. Desjardins over for Rowley. 3-on-2 if they hurry. That one sent just wide. And going to slide back into the Canucks end. Evan Weaver back to collect. He'll go over for Henriksen. Norman just able to get out of the way of a hit from Mike Leffley, and now Norman spinning. Tried to center it.
Marinkovic the other way. Marinkovic on a break. Weaver trying to get back, and he fanned on his shot. Centers it. Stick lifted, poked away by Josh Round. It's chaos, but it's still game on right now. We're tied up at 5 after that.
Heaton tried a long stretch pass, ends up on Helgeson's stick. Round still doesn't have his goal stick though. Helgeson shot through, that one tipped on. Now centered, and the Canucks will just clear that one. Not going to be good enough curling weight, and that's going to be icing coming up against the Canucks. But that was quite the scramble in the Canucks' end. Norman there had to go to the bench for just an equipment thing. He stays on the ice, bought his team a couple seconds. And a battle for the puck in the corner. St. Pierre ends up with it, tries a wraparound, saved by Round. That one's cleared away. Smiley, cross ice for Miller. That shot off the end boards. Schmerman tried to chip that one out. Ends up in the corner though. McLean battling for it. Same with Henriksen. Chase Henriksen gets away from St. Pierre. Henriksen fires it on, and that's saved by Van Derve. He'll hold that for a whistle. Face-off won by the Canucks. Back to the point for Brennan. That shot wide off the end boards. Hansen picks it up, takes a hit from Boomgarden. Puck slides to Swales. That one blocked in front. Now sent wide by Hansen. Taylor from his knees finds Hansen. Tried to get that around Boomgarden, but he took the body and the puck went loose. Rangers will clear the zone. Stretch pass for Massingham, and he couldn't handle that cleanly, or else the Canucks would have been in on a break. Brennan just played that up for Schlachter. Hansen able to clear the zone. Tried to chip that past his guy. Now Shipton had that slide off his stick, and the Rangers end up with it. Dangerous play there by Ross, able to get away from Shipton, but that was close. Boomgarden up the middle. That one's chipped in. Round out of his net. He'll play that up for Shipton. Shipton will send that into the far corner for Desjardins to give chase to. McNeil back to collect it. Bad turnover. Desjardins tried to find Shipton. That was sent to the side, and Rangers will skate that one out. McNeil up for Helgeson. Has McNeil going to the front of the net. Helgeson, that one's off a shin pad and up into the netting, out of play. Offensive zone draw for the Rangers. Marinkovic against Elkins. Puck ends up in the corner and played over for Norman. That one wasn't hard enough out. Canucks are going to get another chance now to get it out, and they will. Schmerman bouncing puck. Can't control that, and the Rangers racing back the other way, but Weaver's going to get there first. Schmerman took a hit there from Leffley. Canucks just able to clear the zone. Miller will send them right back in, though. Both teams with some quick shifts. Hansen's not going to be able to beat out that icing, and face-off will come back into the Canucks' end. Falcons versus St. Pierre once again, this time in the Canucks end. St. Pierre able to win that. Miller, his shot blocked. Hansen gonna try and start back the other way. Has Egan on the other side. Hansen trying to get around Smiley. Glove save by Van Derve. A little bit of pushing and shoving after the whistle, but not too much. Take a second here to thank the last few of our wonderful sponsors. Pomeroy Inn Suites, Rip Shoe Renew, Canadian Tire, Glacier Mobile Glass, and GCM Eco-Friendly Cleaner and Laundry Service. Thank you to all our wonderful sponsors. Wouldn't be able to keep doing this if it wasn't for all your continued support. Swales, he'll play that back for Massingham. Up the ice for Hansen. Hansen. That one fought off with the blocker and then pops up. Van Derve able to find that as well and hold it for a whistle. Colin Leffley able to win that draw over Brandon Rowley. Couldn't connect on a pass there though. Rangers tried again, but ends up on Swale's stick. Cross ice for Rowley. He might have a break on the right side. Rowley shoots, and that one high stick was Shipton. He's down in the corner, no call. Referees saw that one, just elected not to call it. Shipton still trying to get to the bench. Lappenbush will bring it back the other way. Leffley on the backhand. That one bounces off a Canuck, and Schmerman will control. Hopefully Shipton's not losing too many teeth. Schmerman waiting for some help all alone. Rangers able to steal that away from him. They couldn't make a pass after though. Back to the point. Weaver, long shot. That one saved by Van Derve and bounces to the corner. Henriksen tried to go cross ice. That one blocked. What Ranger player was that? That was Brent Heaton who got in front of the Brett Norman shot, and he may have saved a goal right there. Offensive zone draw for the Canucks. Still 5-on-5. No penalties called so far. Norman trying to get that puck loose in front. And Schmerman couldn't get a stick on it. Leffley back behind the defense there. I think that caught Weaver off guard. Marinkovic brings it in. Henriksen trying to come over to help. Pokes that puck away from him before he could get it. Henriksen up for Schmerman. Henriksen brings it back the other way. Just over the net on the blocker side. Cleared away by Smiley. Now Egan off the bench. Tried to center it. That was broken up. The Rangers will give chase. Swales is going to get there first, so for the Canucks. Swales gets around McLean. Kevin Swales in on the right side. He'll stop up. Tried to center it. Egan has it in front of the net. Couldn't get a shot on. It bounces into the corner. That one gets past Swales. He'll get it to the point. Massingham, that one hit someone in front. That was Egan. Tried to spin out of the way of it, but couldn't. Helgeson, that one blockered away by Round. That one had some mustard on it too. Got to watch that. Helgeson's got a good shot. That's why he was drafted in the 7th round by the Anaheim Ducks. Now St. Pierre, that shot took a deflection off a stick. Canucks have their stick lifted, can't clear the zone. Kept in by Ross, and that one floats over the net. St. Pierre tried to go on the short side. Puck still loose there. And they're finally gonna blow that one down as the referee lost sight of it. Puck was still loose, but Swales had been knocked down, had his helmet off, so that'll be a whistle the Canucks will take for sure. Face-off won by the Canucks. Rally able to kick that back to Evan Weaver. And tried to send that up the middle there for Shipton. Bounced over his stick. Rangers will bring it in. Lappenbush. That one poked away by Desiree before Schlochter could get a shot. Weaver took down Leffley there. I have a feeling he's not going to like that. Desiree trying to get that puck free. Lappenbush ends up with it. Poked away by Henriksen, but just past Shipton, so he couldn't go in on a break. Lappenbush brings it into the Canucks end. Has Leffley going to the front of the net. Lappenbush scores!
Peyton Lappenbush with his second of the game, and that's a game winner for the Rangers. 6-5 overtime win, and they'll take a 2-1 series lead. Next game will be Tuesday night in Spirit River. Want to thank everyone for joining us here tonight. Rangers currently lead the series 2-1. That was a fun game to call, though. I'm sure it was a pretty fun one to watch. Want to thank everyone for joining us. We'll see you Tuesday evening in Spirit River at the McLean Rec Center. Have a good night, everyone.
Go!